All right.
I know. Since we just recorded a whole entire podcast.
Yeah, we basically had a thing already.
I got nothing left to say now.
Nothing. I got like 4 hours of sleep last night. I just couldn't shut it down, and my kid was also having trouble sleeping. So
that's
always, it was just a thing.
Yeah.
So I apologize if today I'm a little.
You're looking
if I'm a little bit of a loose cannon.
Well, I don't know about that because usually you've been with me numerous times where I think I wear the sign where people can just tell me, just like, you don't really look great today. Man. You look, you okay? It's just my face. It's just my face.
It's just the one I was born with. I don't know what to tell you.
We got a new pet, a kitten, for the last couple days. So it's been, listen, when it woke me up at like 5-something this morning, thinking that it was like a hairball, and I was trying to get it.
You about reconsidered your
and I was like,
decision to be a cat owner?
No, it was just like, well, I'm awake now. So it was about like 5:45. And then my son wakes up and it's like he's constructing a new room. I'm like, I don't know what you're
doing, but you're making an awful lot of noise while you do it.
Yeah. I was just like, hey, can you stop building shelves and construction? That'd be great. He's like, what? I didn't do it. Okay. But yeah, over the last couple of days, I've got more than 4 hours sleep though. So
yeah, I'm just if I'm a little loopy,
yeah,
my apologies.
Yeah,
if I'm a bit of a loose cannon today.
I think you and I are over the last week. I've been worn very thin. So
yeah,
I don't have sleep excuse.
We kind of went from slow to like kind of crazy busy in the last week, which I'm grateful for.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had appointments almost every day for the past, 4 or 5 days. So
yep, it's been something every day, couple things, and just go, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So
it's good to be back.
It is.
But of course, summer vacation started 3 months ago.
Yeah, and
there's still 3 months to go.
Well, I don't understand
it's kind of weird being back in that rhythm, and we're all getting back to work, which is awesome.
Yeah.
But our kids, the
still
kids who go to public school, they're like, nah, we're still just home.
Yeah, it's been strange, and so I guess over the next 3 days, I'll just say, the schools are going, hey, show up and pick up stuff that the school has of yours and drop stuff off that you have at the school. So I was like, this is the exact opposite of what, like, so you just want all the kids to go back. There's no set schedule.
Right.
It's not like, okay, Chuck, you're going to show up between 11 and 12 on Tuesday, and there's only going to be like a couple other people on the others. No, they're just like, hey, open gym, show up, everybody, whenever. I don't like it.
Okay.
I don't like it. Show up in my gas mask and just full apocalypse gear. Yeah.
But welcome to the show.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome. Yeah. I was like, we were just discussing, I think you've seen a little bit more in the entertainment side of things than I have in the last week.
Maybe. I mean, I was just looking at the old Google entertainment news.
Google.
Adam Sandler's got a new movie coming out.
Is it a Netflix one or is it a...
Yes. Okay. It's called Hustle.
Okay. Well,
it's going to be produced by...
I'm waiting.
I mean, if you... three guesses on who's producing the new Netflix original Adam Sandler film. Go.
I was jokingly saying David Spade, but I think my first one would be probably Judd Apatow.
Also wrong.
Really? Kevin James.
3 strikes you're out.
I was going to say. That's probably like the most basic answer. I'm drinking my coffee right now.
Jeremiah Zagar is going to be directing it.
Oh, I was like, I don't even know who that is.
And it is going to be produced by none other than NBA superstar LeBron James.
give up, man. I'm like,
So Adam Sandler, keeping good on his promise to make nothing but terrible movies for the rest of his life after being snubbed for Uncut Gems, is now starring in a basketball-themed movie produced by LeBron James.
Listen, I've got really nothing against LeBron James. He's a really good role model, a good basketball player, I'm sure.
Yeah. Seems to be relatively scandal-free, obviously a talented
but no one,
athlete.
Right. No one has asked for Space Jam 2.
Right.
No one has asked.
Nobody wants that.
Nobody's like, God, you know what? We're looking for a producer. Hey, LeBron, you want to break into this? I
right.
don't know. There's really nothing wrong with it. I don't know why it set me off, but it's just... I think more Space Jam 2, because it's been I don't even know when Space Jam came out. No one...
1996.
Yeah. No one really asked for that.
During the heyday of combining live action and animation that brought us such gems as Who Framed Roger Rabbit,
dude, that
which
was
is an American classic.
That was in 90.
And Cool World starring Brad
Well, that was
Pitt.
And Kim Basinger, stop it. Give Kim Basinger the respect that she has earned.
All right.
And deserved. Cool World. Jeez, I don't even know it. No.
The only reason it was on my mind is actually now I think it's available on Amazon Prime to watch.
What? No. It was so bad. And
I'm not saying I watched it. I'm just saying I saw the little thumbnail for it.
Right.
Well,
and I think because it was
we were browsing for some movies to watch.
I was gonna say it was more adult themed, but it wasn't an adult movie. It just had more. It wasn't a kid's movie.
It was they're like, oh, that Who Framed Roger Rabbit was pretty silly.
Right.
What if we turned that into? What if we tried to make a film noir version of Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Right. And I mean, I started watching it. Disney Plus has just given a lot of gems back into my life.
Yeah.
Because I started watching. One thing I did watch over the last week. Watched The Rocketeer.
Okay.
With my kids.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It was really, really good, and it was my son who kind of usually has his little jab. It held up. Which is more of a historical piece. It's not it's taking place in modern, but it, special effects wise and everything like that.
It's not bad.
It's not bad.
I mean, some of those movies from the 90s were just that far ahead of their time.
Yeah.
You look at Jurassic Park.
It's insane. I watched something.
It's still that good.
Yeah. Oh, I was watching something the other day. Speaking of Disney Plus, I was watching the behind the scenes Mandalorian.
Okay.
I don't know if you've seen any of them.
I haven't.
But they did because there's multiple directors.
Mm-hmm.
They did kind of a round table with Jon Favreau, and all of them were talking about different influences and kind of directing the episodes and stuff, which is pretty cool. But a lot of them brought up Jurassic Park still is a pivotal moment in this is what we can do now. This is the world we live in right now where there's dinosaurs.
Right.
That look. And you watch that movie now and it's still
it's still amazing.
It still holds up. You're just that still looks amazing.
Yeah.
And
mostly
that somewhat looks better than the newer
practical
ones.
effects. Yeah, I think the dinosaurs look better as animatronics than they do as CGI.
Yeah. I've seen the newer ones and I'm like, okay, cool. The Fallen Kingdom was, I think, on streaming the other day, and I was like, put it on to kind of ignore.
Well, I was
like, it's cool. It looks cool, but there's something about Jurassic Park, the original Jurassic Park, that
it's just so amazing.
Yeah.
Well, we went to Universal last summer, and they had just finished revamping their Jurassic Park ride to have more of a Jurassic World theme. But they still had some of the same, a lot of the same animatronics as far as the dinosaurs were concerned.
Oh, okay.
They kind of updated the ride's voiceover and all of that.
Okay.
And added some elements. They added, the Indominus Rex into the mix and all of that stuff. But you see some of those older animatronic, there's a Triceratops just chilling off to the side.
Yeah. Oh, I've seen some of the things.
And it you're like,
okay.
Looks legit to me.
Yeah. They just brought an actual Triceratops.
Yeah.
It's just hanging out
They
here.
found one, and it's chilling here at Universal Studios.
Because, you've seen that, like, the actual science of that people are like, we're this long from bringing We've literally seen movies.
Can we not? Can we not even try?
Whole franchise about why to not do this.
We don't learn anything.
My only thing with the Jurassic Park movies, sorry for doing that.
I was like, some of my favorite movies of all time. So
yeah, just the newer ones. It's kind of like, I'll even say, the Star Wars, stop recycling the same exact ideas. I will fully admit that
that's kind of why I'm excited about this next one.
That it's like,
it should be better.
Yeah, not that they were. Listen, we've done our analogies. Like it was okay for what it did.
Yeah,
I've seen far worse movies.
Hey,
Murder Time Mysteries.
I like Chris Pratt. Let's keep him working.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Honestly, if anybody is to take the mantle of Indiana Jones, give it to Chris Pratt.
Absolutely,
he's got the award. Like, I give my, but I think but like this sequel saga in the Star Wars thing, we've seen it. It's the same.
Yeah,
it's the same story. So it's kind of like in the newer Jurassic Park movies, where
if you look at the 3 separate Star Wars trilogies, they're all the same.
Yeah,
it goes from some inexperienced kid finds the Force,
right?
Learns the Force.
What's he gonna
becomes one with the Force,
one way or another? Yes,
and cool. The first trilogy he went bad.
Yeah.
Second trilogy he didn't.
Yeah.
The third trilogy, half and half.
Right.
Right. It's an oversimplification of storylines, and I don't mean to insult. I love Star Wars.
No,
I really
so
do.
I.
I'm definitely still more of a casual fan, right. But I grew up with those. I've even watched, the Ewok movies. So good.
They're so bad it's good. But no, with those, and it's kind of like Fallen Kingdom. It was good. Right. But I'm kind of like, we're making hybrid dinosaurs again.
And they're corporate sponsored.
Okay. Yeah, all right. Like, it just didn't...
Kaden.
Yeah, just like, at no point did someone go, hey, you know what? Remember, like, a year ago when we did this? I don't think we need to do this again. Oh, we're going to make a meaner one that's even less hard to control,
Exactly.
Anyways.
No, that's they've jumped the shark a little bit.
Yeah,
but
not as much as other franchises.
But not as much as other franchise. We're talking to you, Fast and the Furious.
I just say the first one had something special,
right?
And then since then, it's just gotten to be silly.
Mm-hmm.
Probably still watch it. Just saying, it's gotten to be cartoony.
I'm gonna.
Yeah.
I'm too invested to not at this point.
That's what
so it's just, I'm trying to think of some other franchise. I mean, it's almost why, like, I love the MCU.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of glad they're on a break. Now.
Yeah, me too.
Because
I'm nervous.
I was worried that it was going to start getting Fast and the Furious on us.
Right.
It has that potential, I think.
Well, I mean, in all honesty, I'm probably going to get, like, I think my son was talking to me, there was some poll over, like, the best movie, whatever, and Avengers Endgame was in first place as far as, like, the best movie. I don't know if that's there's parts of it.
No, it's not my favorite. It's not the best one.
Listen, it was like the Matrix 2. There were some cool parts of Matrix 2.
But it wasn't the best Matrix movie.
But it wasn't the best. There were some really cool scenes. But so I'm going on all sorts of franchises here. But No, as far as Endgame, it wasn't my favorite, but there was some really cool, like, yeah. But you start getting further away. I'm like further away from the comic, like. But when they're doing time travel and stuff, I'm like, okay, like, where do you go? Where do you go from here? That time travel's possible, and it's just
quantum everything.
It's just messy. It's messier.
It has that potential to get stupid.
Infinity War was more my favorite.
Oh, I'm deeper in the crates than that.
Oh, so am I. It's not my favorite.
I don't think.
I have my favorite Marvel movie.
Okay, ready?
1, 2, 3. Winter Soldier.
Man 1.
Iron Man 1, really?
The one that really started it all.
I agree. Well, I'm not saying that it's my favorite. I mean, but it's up there.
It was just it gave us that something special that every other MCU film has chased after. And not that they haven't done it well, it's just that's what they've been trying to recreate in every movie, that perfect blend between
origin story,
action, origin story, drama, comedy, still keeping everything very tongue-in-cheek, and no one has done it better yet.
Yeah. I just think Terrence Howard's still
salty.
Still salty, man.
Well,
I think he said like Marvel owes him like $100 million or something.
Listen,
it's like,
Terrence,
you're not going to get it.
You need to read the story of Icarus.
Well, it's like, I'm happy with that casting change. Normally I'm not like, yay, let's change the character. But Terrence Howard gives me the heebie-jeebies.
I like him as an actor. Yeah. I've seen him in some incredible roles.
Name one.
Hustle and Flow was killer, dude.
It's not a bad movie, but I mean, like...
All right.
I don't know. There's not anything where I'm like, oh my God.
Fair enough. I like him as an actor. He's never ruined a movie for me that I can recall.
For me, it's like I just feel like somebody's like, show me on the War Machine doll where he touched you.
Right.
Like, I just feel dirty.
But the fact is I'm
going after Terrence Howard.
You're taking shots at Terrence Howard, and that's fine. But like I said, he just needs to read the story of Icarus and realize that this is his fault.
Yeah.
He could have been War Machine. He could have been in 17 movies.
Yeah. Learn when to shut your mouth.
But he got grabby with the money.
Yep.
And Marvel Studios called him out and said, all right.
You were in one movie.
Hey, Cheadle.
Yeah.
What you up to?
Yeah. Hey, can you check out a Hotel Rwanda real quick? And come check out this Marvel movie?
Yeah, and so... And I do think he's actually a better fit for the character. And that could just be because...
Don Cheadle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that could just be because he played it.
Yeah.
In more... He had more time to develop that character over many, many movies.
Right.
So it could be that. Right. We'll never know if
what he could have done with
what it could have been.
Right.
The other way.
Right.
So, and I'm not saying it would have been better or worse, but
I think just him as
he got grabby with the money, and
look at me singing Darkening,
and it cost him. It cost him a legacy.
Oh yeah.
In what became one of the most beloved and also highest grossing film franchises of all time.
Oh yeah.
So
most definitely.
Sorry, bro.
I'm getting caught in
all tangled up. All tangled up.
So,
but no, we've been speaking of digging in the crates. We've been going back and watching some. We had the wife and I've had a good run of.
I thought you were talking about us, and I was in. I was like, "What did we do? Did I forget already?"
It's been that crazy.
Yeah.
No, we just, we put the kids to bed, and we like to have our little movie time after the kids go to bed. And the last few nights have been pretty solid.
Nice.
We watched
I like those days.
Molly's Game.
Okay.
Which we had kind of talked about.
I was almost like, yeah, you told me.
The kind of quote unquote true story. Obviously, there's always going to be some dramatization that goes on, but of Molly Bloom, who ran some high profile underground poker games for the rich, famous, and powerful. Yeah, and that was a really good movie. We rewatched Snowpiercer.
Okay,
which
we were just talking about just before we started again our pre-podcast podcast.
Yeah,
that's going to be. I think it's on Netflix.
I'm gonna look it up right now.
I almost said that it's going to be like on TBS or something, but I believe it's coming to Netflix, where it's going to be a original series.
It's currently on TNT.
See? All right.
And it's set next year.
That's what I was like, I don't know when funny. It's going
to... no, but it's been... looks like it's on its third season already.
Okay.
So...
Yeah. So I've seen the movie, and I was a fan of it, and some good actors that pop up in it.
Yeah. Went old school Paul Rudd and watched
I don't know
Dinner
what I'm
for
like
Schmucks.
Supposed to like ruin by being like.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's a 10-year-old movie.
And it's this person when Ed Helms or not Ed Helms, Ed Harris. Excuse me.
You shut your mouth.
I was like,
sir.
Oh my god, what a great movie! I
forgot to change the logo again. That's all right.
I think it's still good.
There's still plenty of people who are on quarantine.
Yeah.
It's our show.
Lockdown.
It's our show of solidarity with those who are still locked down.
God, what a movie that would be. If it was like Wizard of Oz style and you get to the end and it's Ed Helms. God, that would be such a disappointment.
When you think you're going to get Ed Harris and you get Ed Helms instead.
Oh my God. What a horrible
that would be like the equivalent of getting like an off-brand peanut butter cup instead of a Reese's in your Easter basket.
My God, he's like rig-a-goo-goo. You're like,
shut up, Ed Helms.
Oh God. He's like, I came here to be saved, and Ed Helms shows up.
Oh, the Onceler.
I came to get answers, and all he got is the Nard dog. Jeez.
Oh, man.
He's like, you want to listen to my a cappella song? No.
No, nobody does. Space Force comes out next week.
New trailer came out this morning.
Yeah, it just came out today.
And I didn't mean to cut you off. You had said you'd also watched...
Oh, we went old school Paul Rudd and watched Dinner for Schmucks, which...
that's what I said. That was a one-time viewing for me. Like, it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like the... what is it? Daddy's Home. With Will Ferrell.
Yeah.
I had to turn that movie off.
All right.
I just don't like the bullying.
Yeah, it does make you uncomfortable. Right. But you know, because Paul Rudd's in it, that he's going to come around and he's going to do the right thing.
But it just took, and it's literally just a people that bring in people to make fun of.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's just kind of like, all right. Like, I got through it, but I'm saying, like, it's not a movie that I'm running back to. It's not my top 5.
I don't think I ever need to watch it again.
Steve Carell. Excuse me. I'm saying like 5 things at once. Or Paul Rudd movies. Like they're not in my top.
I've just been kind of skimming through episodes of The Office, and it reminded me that the worst episodes of The Office happen after Ed Helms comes onto the cast.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, some of the best come after, but
yeah, we've talked about it probably at length, and I apologize because it's like one of those Ed Helm nerves. Because at some points I don't mind him being on the show because he it's some good thing, but after The Hangover,
well, he
comes back and it's like just so they tried to
make him too much they tried to make him too much a part of the show.
Yeah, and it's just like, okay.
You know, at the beginning, he's kind of he's a counterbalance to Dwight.
Right. That he was like a nice guy, but yeah.
Well, he's a nice guy, but he's also got a awful temper.
Right.
You know, and that's kind of his shtick.
Right. And he's goofy and he's kind of, annoying.
Yeah, but he flies off the handle
right.
very, very quickly and easily.
Right. But it's just, I think that's the first one when he went to film The Hangover and on The Office, he got angry and punched a wall and got sent to anger management.
Right.
But while he was gone at anger management, he filmed The Hangover. And that did well.
It did.
And was, speaking of franchises, probably the best one out of it because it was literally the same story
3 different times.
3 different times.
Yeah.
And you're just like, okay. So who's gonna
Well, I don't mind a sequel. When a sequel's good,
right,
I'm all about it. But when a sequel it just feels like a cash grab.
Right.
Which is most sequels.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I'm just like,
yeah.
Batman 89.
Okay.
Batman Returns.
Okay.
Great.
Yeah.
It goes into cash grab territory.
If you go after the best Batman movies of all time, then we're gonna have some problems.
No. I'm talking about the pre-Nolan era.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're
gonna fight then.
I'm talking about some Batman Forever and Batman and Robin. The best. Just kidding. I have nothing to back that up. I was
Security.
I was like, how far can I carry this?
Security.
Do you think Arnold Schwarzenegger
Get him
just
out of here.
appears as Mr. Freeze for any little old movie?
You mean the kindergarten cop? Yes, I do think he shows up for
does.
anything that offers a paycheck.
A paycheck. To quote Kevin Smith talking about Ben Affleck doing the movie Paycheck, I think the title says it all.
True story.
That's it.
See, and that's where it's easy to make fun of Ben Affleck.
Right.
Because he'll make a movie like Paycheck.
Right. But if you were in
he'll read the script of Daredevil and go, "Hey, I'll do this."
Right. The problem is he was such a Daredevil fan.
He could have been a good Daredevil.
He said yes. Well, and the reason before he was in the movie, Kevin Smith wrote a Daredevil series, comic book.
Yeah.
It's a visionary series, and Ben Affleck wrote the foreword to the series, being like, "I'm such a Daredevil fan," and that was before he got
offered the role.
So he was like, "Daredevil, yes,
I'm all about it.
No script yet, it's fine.
Put my name attached to this movie."
Yeah, so much
right
so
now.
He is in a deleted scene for Elektra, the movie Elektra, which is listen. If we're going to talk about that thing, Elektra was far worse than Daredevil.
Full disclosure.
You've never seen it?
It was a spin-off of a movie that I hated to begin with.
You need to at least to hang at this table right now.
Nope. I don't. I'm a free American, sir. I don't have to watch that.
Right,
it was it was a spin-off of a movie that I already didn't like.
All right, fair enough. But he appeared in a deleted scene for that never made it, and I was like, wow, you got to commit to like
you knew that it was bad,
and you're like, you know what? Maybe
I'll suit up one more time.
Maybe I'll suit up with the glasses and the whole deal one more time.
It's not like he needs the money.
Yeah.
He's
been out.
Maybe he does. I don't know.
But
I don't know
at
his
a certain
financial
point,
life. Maybe he's over leveraged.
Right.
Like Nicolas Cage. Listen, there's a reason that Nicolas Cage makes movies like The Wicker Man. It's because someone told him it was a good idea to buy a small island.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
he makes bad choices with his money
constantly. Well, I always think of
he hasn't stopped.
Yeah, I always think of an interview I saw with John Travolta, and it was about while they were doing Face Off, whatever, and he's like, and we're sitting there trying to figure out our little, mannerisms and everything like that. And he's like, so we go and hang out, and Nicolas Cage is like, do you want to go look at some fine glass? John Travolta's like, who says that? Who says, do you want to go look at some fine glass? But like did the impersonation like spot on.
Of course.
But I'm just like, okay, ever since that point I was like, he's just a weird dude.
Yeah.
Like he's just Nicolas Cage. Like he's been in some of like I love Con Air, The Rock.
Sure. Yeah.
Like,
I mean
there was
a golden era. Raising Arizona,
Gone in 60 Seconds.
Yeah.
Like there was an era of Cage.
Yeah.
You know, like the Cage era.
This is the Cage era.
But then there hit a point where he was just like, oh, cool. You want me to be in your student film? All right. Like, it'll be artsy fartsy. And I think it's Tim Burton's fault.
You take that back.
Not.
You take that.
Superman. Like, when Tim Burton tried to take over Superman and do a new Superman movie, and it's like, who's the perfect Superman? Nicolas Cage. And it was just bad.
It's
on
like
many levels.
Every time. So he makes the case both directions where you go, okay, people who aren't fans of comic books shouldn't make comic book movies.
Right.
But then he gives us Batman 89.
Right. Which he knew enough.
Yeah. So you're like, oh, maybe people who aren't into comic books can make comic book movies. But then he turns around and says, hey, you know who'd make a great Superman?
Right.
Nicolas freaking Cage.
It's going to be amazing. It's going to be life-changing. And it was like Superman with long hair, and it was just ridiculous. If you ever get a chance to, there's some documentaries about the making of it. Because Kevin Smith was brought in to write it, and he did a rendition, but they wanted him to change like a whole bunch of stuff, and he finally like walked. Like it finally failed because it was them wanting him to fight a giant spider, and Brainiac had a polar bear army, and like it was just ridiculous. Which then he points out the person that told him to do the giant spider thing ended up producing Wild Wild West, which if you recall that movie, about halfway through,
that was
a giant mechanical spider.
Well, that was when, you know,
that was during
that dark era of Will Smith.
But even then, like, he was on a long stretch there. And
well,
I think he still was part of it. I think Wild Wild West was still part of it.
He started doing that thing where he was making new rap songs for every movie he was in. And
they were all similar.
No, I mean, basically, they were all Men in Black.
They were all the equivalent of Ice Ice Baby to Under Pressure.
Exactly.
It's like Men in Black to Wild Wild West.
Remember when Vanilla Ice recorded that song for the Ninja Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze?
Do I? The ninja rap, I think, is what you're referring to.
Yes. So somebody forgot to tell Will Smith about how that went down.
Yeah, but...
And then it's just not a great idea.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But it's still... Listen, was in my early days a huge Ninja Turtles fan, and still to a certain extent a Ninja Turtles fan. And so did watch that recently with my daughter, the first one day, and then we was like, hey, let's watch Secret of the Ooze. And into that one. And I got way too excited when that scene was coming up. I'm like, here it comes.
Here it is.
They're fighting in a junkyard, and they end up in a club by going through that wall. I'm not really sure why there's a club next to the
because all the best clubs are in seedy parts of town, bro.
Well, yeah, but if you're a villain, why are you gonna be like, listen, we need a low key place. Listen, there's the junkyard, but it's right next to the club, like that really popular club where Vanilla Ice is performing.
Right.
All right, you know what? The price is right.
Go Ninja.
The price is right. Yeah.
I still have to credit that soundtrack.
Whoa. Okay.
Just buckle in. We're gonna go for a ride here for a second.
Okay. I don't know where this is going.
All will be apparent shortly. I have to credit that soundtrack with forming a large part of my musical taste for the rest of my life.
Okay, so Ninja Rap.
And it was not Ninja Rap.
Okay.
But also on the soundtrack was a little tune called No Sleep Till Brooklyn.
Yes.
By one of the greatest rap trios of all time.
Bell,
The Beastie
Biv,
Boys.
DeVoe. I'm just kidding. No, very much.
That was the first time I had ever heard the Beastie Boys. Was
Okay.
I had the tape
Yes.
for that soundtrack.
Yeah.
And the first time I ever heard the Beastie Boys was on that soundtrack.
Yep.
And I've been a fan ever since.
Huge. Yeah.
In fact, so I bought a new phone,
Okay.
an iPhone, again.
I bought a new Droid. Take that.
Actually, Droid is owned by Motorola. You have a Samsung Galaxy device. And with my purchase of my new iPhone came 1 free year of Apple TV Plus.
Okay.
So I had kind of subscribed right out of the gate with the free trial when it first launched.
Right.
And the content offering wasn't bad. It was just super limited. So I canceled after the free trial was over. Whatever.
Gotcha.
But I was considering resubscribing simply because there was a new Beastie Boys documentary that hit Apple TV Plus a couple weeks ago. And it made me. I watched it, and it was so great.
Yeah,
I loved every minute of it.
I saw a little teaser, like little bits of it or whatever, and it.
Listen, it's $5 a month.
Yeah.
To subscribe to the service, and if you subscribe and only watch that one thing,
right,
it was worth it.
Yeah,
it was worth it. So yeah, but would I have come across the Beastie Boys another way? Probably.
But you got to give.
But
some turtle power.
I owe, and that shaped a lot of, again, what my musical taste for the rest of my life, because it was like, that was in the days that like MC Hammer, Vanilla Ice, rap was almost comical. You know, we hadn't transitioned to that East Coast versus West Coast battle. Gangsta rap was not really a thing yet. I mean, NWA was a thing then, but
beginning stage.
But I had never been exposed to NWA or any of that stuff yet.
Mm-hmm.
But I had heard this one track by the Beastie Boys, and then I ended up getting the License to Ill album later on.
Right.
But I just thought it was so cool that like these guys could play their instruments. They were a hardcore punk band before, and so in between when I had heard this one track by the Beastie Boys, which is it's guitar heavy, it's certainly a lot more rocking than your typical hip hop, and that appealed to me instantly.
Right.
And then kind of got introduced to punk music a few years later, and that kind of blend, the attitude, the work ethic, the DIY stuff that the Beastie Boys was all about, those are very much punk rock work ethics.
Oh, definitely.
And so for me, it just kind of all blended in, and it was like, yeah, I like Bad Religion and NoFX and Rancid and Pennywise, but also like the Beastie Boys are up in like the top 5 musical influences for my whole life.
Yeah. Well, and while I was sitting here looking at it, it's just kind of segueing and as far as the Beastie Boys and the significance, there's one of our, I will say, favorite directors or director of some of our favorite movies, J.J. Abrams.
Yeah.
Is a huge Beastie Boys fan.
Okay.
And not only did he do probably one of the greatest intros in Star Trek history with Intergalactic.
Mm-hmm.
And like just a really, really cool scene. But in the new Star Wars movies, helmed by J.J. Abrams, there is a character that is Hello Nasty.
Yeah.
Is named one of the pilots for Hello Nasty, which was, on the Intergalactic CD. Anyways, sorry.
Yeah, that was the album.
It's just kind of a significance of what they've done, and
it's kind of it's interesting to me, at least, like when I think back on it, that influence where like I really liked the Paul's Boutique album.
Right.
And I really like Check Your Head.
Right.
And those were two albums that were kind of like, people were like,
Not
hey, it'd be cool if you could go back to doing the License to Ill stuff.
Right.
And I love, like, that's still one of my favorite albums of all time.
Right.
But watching that documentary, which was, you know how you lent me the DVDs years and years ago, An Evening with Kevin Smith?
I do.
This was kind of along that same vein.
Right.
You know, but it was them kind of telling their stories, you know, and as to why they stopped doing that same style and kept evolving and kept doing different stuff, you know, and just, you know, when they wrote Sabotage, like one of the greatest songs of all time.
Yeah.
You know, so it was just, that was really cool. And it was, you know, like I said, if you subscribe to Apple TV Plus for that one documentary and then cancel your subscription, the $5 was worthwhile.
Yeah, definitely. No, I was like, that almost makes it worth it for me. Segueing, we have some. Are we in our final?
Maybe
to bring it down a little bit. I don't want to bring it down until it's time to bring it down.
We can bring it down anytime.
All right. Well, we have a
memorandum moment.
Memoriam. God,
a moratorium.
It wrong. No, it's always. I did that one time. Like, had said it so fast, and so now I always jokingly say it. But we had another passing.
Fred Willard.
Fred Willard.
Rest in peace.
And it was one of those things where I was like, he's been in so much stuff
that you don't even realize
to pinpoint.
Yeah.
Like, sitting here being like, of this fame.
No,
but it's been
super prolific.
Like, in everything. Like, more recently been the grandfather on Modern Family. But he's been in...
a show I never really watched.
Good show. I think it's one of those ones, like I think we were talking last week or the week before about, I was never into something about Raymond or whatever.
Okay.
Whatever. Is that what it was called? Whatever. The Raymond Show.
Okay.
Like, as a younger kid.
Everybody loves
Raymond. Evidently, I don't, because I can't remember the name of the dang show. But I didn't get that as like a single, but when I became a parent, you know, and and it was more family related, I enjoyed that show.
Sure, yeah.
So I think watching that show as a parent,
I mean, and he's been in everything from like children's TV shows.
Yeah, it's like Best in Show, A Mighty Wind, Anchorman. Everybody Loves Raymond. He was in This Is Spinal Tap. He was in American.
His body of work is super.
Yeah, like it goes
super
on
deep.
On.
And like I said, he didn't only do one type of movie or one type of show. No. He did everything. Didn't he host a game show for a while?
I think so. But he was so just naturally funny. I think there's some comedians that, you know, my wife and I always joke around and just be like, this, you know, it's kind of like Adele. Adele could sing us the phone book. Yeah, and we'd be like, like, but some comedians just come up and say funny, you know, just naturally say funny things. You're researching something.
Well, no, I did. Oh, he did. He did host he hosted Match Game for a while. Okay. Again, not a game show that I was into by any stretch of the imagination, but like I said, he's done it all.
Right. So
maybe he wasn't really an action movie star, but I mean, from drama to comedy, to children's shows, game shows, he did a lot.
Yeah. So it was that was one of those ones that was like, okay, I know we've talked like they come in threes, but that was which was weird because after Jerry Stiller died, a lot of people were like, well, between him and Fred Willard, so they kind of like not jinxed it, but it was a lot of people were comparing the two of them, and then a little bit later on, like a couple days later, he passed. So, R.I.P.
Rest in peace,
to
good
the
sir.
FW.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right then.
Yeah, you gotta.
He has stuff to do.
Yeah, work to do. think there's some shows and stuff coming out. So hopefully next week we'll have.
Yeah, I think the one that I'm looking forward to won't be out by next week, but I'm definitely going to check out Space Force when it comes out on the 29th.
I want to check out Space Force, and then there is that new David Spade one on Netflix that I've actually heard good things about.
Okay,
I didn't have any interest.
So I told you earlier we kind of had this really good streak of watching some solid movies,
right?
And we've actually avoided this new David Spade movie because we're like, man, we're on such a good streak.
I know.
We watched the original Red Dawn,
which is amazing.
Which it makes me sad to even have to say that there's an original and a remake because the remake was just not that good.
Give baby a grenade.
Yeah. And so we haven't checked out
I avoided it. I was like, oh my god, like whatever. David Spade has done really well on his late night show. He was given, and it was like perfect for him. But every time he comes out with one of these movies, it's like whatever. But I've actually heard some good things about it.
All right. Well, I'll check that out before next week.
And then I've heard good things about the Amazon original show Upload.
I've heard some good things about that one.
Some people have been raving about that, and so I want to check that one out too.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it.
And on that
Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
We cue the music.
Like, comment, subscribe, share, do the stuff. We appreciate you. That's it. Until next time, he's Tucker.
He's the Beard.
And we're out.